All right. How you doing? So I got it right here. I'm thinking your name ends in Van.
Yeah, Paula. Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
You
Good
have a
day.
good
You too. So once again, Uber keeps cutting in, so I got to fight back and cut back in. I originally was doing a shot from the street back there, turning into this place. It was something similar. I was using this for that side, for the dream sequence moment, where basically what happens is he is walking like this, and you're seeing him walk, and the lights are going above his head like that. Kind of, it's a dream sequence where the Pastor Rec, is kind of warping into an animal for a second, and then it's kind of the Native American thing, and it's a real weird sequence. But Eric didn't show up, so I only could do the meat of the scene, which was the dialogue, and I had to cut about 90% of the whole script just to get something. And then shortly after that, Corbin left. So Corbin left the Drive Film Productions. He was my cameraman. But he did get to do the scene, so I did get to do that with him. But I think he just got frustrated in all the independence of it, and the fact that we were struggling so hard and trying to get anything done, and there were long gaps between filming and things. So I had to temporarily kind of put things on hold, so I'm focusing more on sound. But I was going to use another there's another area that is very similar to this Omley apartment, because I was going to use the Omleys as one of the dream sequence for the pastor, where he's walking kind of in like an area like that. It's up here, but the only difference between the area that I was going to use and that area was water. So the area that I was going to use, rather than that one right there, was it was on a water's edge. So it was on the edge of a pond, or the pond that's at the canals. It's somewhere up here. But I had used it in several of my previous shots for my test shots before I did that side. And I only got to do that side at the Irving Convention Center. No, actually, we got to do some of it at the Irving Convention Center coming away from that, and at the North Lake stop, at the North Lake College stop, which is where Pastor Rec meets Ash Cole to tell him, or it's actually really what it is. It's Pastor Rec's son at that moment talking to Ash Cole, I guess to try to get him to come back to the church, which that is really unorthodox, and like that doesn't really happen. So it is kind of a fantasy story in a way, because pastors don't go to that extreme. To try to get people to come back to their church. They're not that dedicated. They don't care. They're more in tune with their own families, their own struggles, and the things they have to do to pay their bills. They don't really care that much about a member that is trying to fall away from the church. But in this story, and once in a lifetime, in that story, the pastor does care. But I'm gonna see if I can find the area. I may come across it at another drop, but it's a different feel. And you can also, another thing about it is you can't pull your car up there too. You have to be on foot to get to it. But it's in this area. It's one of these ones at Omley. It's one of the standard ones along the Omley apartments along the canals. I guess you call it the canals, or a pond, or a lake, whatever that is. And I believe it's on Lake Carolyn, which is the road that I'm on. I don't know if it's up here though. It's got to be somewhere around here. Is that it? It's like this. It's similar to that, but it has more lights on it. And there's an address that I'm familiar. I want to say it's 1050 Lake Carolyn. But I might go back and reshoot some of that eventually. I got to find a dedicated Pastor Rec though, one that's not going to flake, because Rob flaked. Here's another Riverside here. So Rob flaked on the whole project. Corbin flaked. But I gotta have people that are willing to risk and want to commit to the story. But the pastor is kind of like after this black sheep member of the church named Ash Cole, and the pastor's last name is Reck. Kind of like, I guess maybe Eastern Europe or so is where you get the last name. And one of the sequences is kind of, I guess you could call a dream sequence, but it's kind of a fantasy sequence of their relationship and the fact that he cares so much that he meets this guy, but then he goes into this like supernatural kind of warping thing, you know, into this coyote, which I've been getting all this coyote stuff on foot. I've been getting these coyotes running around Dallas. So he like goes into this coyote for a minute, and then he bounces out of this coyote and then goes to I think into a skunk. And then he goes back to, I guess goes back to his own body. I kind of getting stuff from OA, Original Angel, that's on Netflix. But yet I'm throwing in some like Native American kind of spiritualism about animals. And I know the Native Americans believe that there's animal spirits and stuff. I think there probably is. I believe in some of that just because I can. But I don't know if it's on Lake Carolyn. It might be this way. Let's see. Yeah, it's right up here. But anyway, that's just one sequence in it. And he ends up, Pastor Reck ends up in a family, a statue family. I'm going to have to shoot this thing to get it out of my system. But he ends up in this statue family off of Northgate at a this place is like the Twilight Zone though. That's weird because now it's gone. The one place, these weird things have happened to me. When I was in Maine, something happened to me when I come up on Stephen King's house one time. Nope, it's not there. I'll have to look through my notes to see if I can get that address of where it's at. I know it's along the edge of the river. Huh. That's very strange. Because I've been to this place like 100 times. Or a few times, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, maybe it's not Lake Carolyn. Huh. And it's facing, I know where it's at. I just remembered it, where that building is. There's a building. Maybe it is on the other side. Yes, it is. It's on the other side. Hang on for a second. There's one building that is, it's a large building. We'll pass it here in a minute. Wow, I'm on the wrong side. That's why I can't find it. And this is California Crossing right here. Okay. No, I must be turned around. Hang on for a second. Is that it? That's not it because there's no water's edge. It looks like that. This must be it. Nope, this is not it though. Okay. This is similar, but this is a circle that goes around this way. Okay, I'm seeing it now. This is a circle that goes around this way right here. This building is hard to flip and find. This is a real weird area. That one looks similar to it, but that's not it. Huh. Okay, I'm flipping out on some of this. Okay, I'm seeing it now. That must be why I put it in a dream sequence. I would come across this place for a drop in the middle of the night. And I'll show you how you find it. It's very difficult to find. There's a great building. There it is, right there. That's how you find it. Those 3 buildings right there it's on the other side, or it's facing one of those buildings. It's been a while. This is where he warped into the skunk, right here, in this area, right here, in this area, right around here. I saw the skunk in this field right here. So I got the idea. I was like, wow. So Pastor Rick warps into the skunk. And then I saw a coyote not too far in Irving, and I thought maybe he warped into the coyote for a moment. And then I realized he probably like warped back into himself and was frozen among his family. And the statues in off of Northgate, which all this stuff is here. I mean, there's a skunk somewhere out there, and there's a coyote somewhere out there, and there's that statues. The family statues are out there, by off of Northgate. But all this stuff is coming from something. It's not coming from nothing. It's coming from things that I've seen and come across while I was working on this script. So it wasn't. It didn't come out of nothing. Really, I didn't just make it up out of the air. Okay, so that building is a key on how you get, because it faces the other side of where this one segment is. I'm gonna try to go this way. This is the way I just came. Interesting. Okay, so this is where you can see the Mustangs, and it's called it's a square. It's on the other side of that building. Here's a way to find it. Okay, so you can find it. It's right there. That's where the edge of it is, right here. And a security guard once wanted some information from me when I was right over here. So that is it right there. I can see the back side of it right here, because you can see this building right here. It's a location, basically. This is the building right here, and this is the spot right there. All I have to do is drive down that way and turn right, and I'll be able to find it. That's the spot from this end, and that's where Pastor Rick was supposedly in the middle of his like warp thing, where he warps out of time and space and goes into like this alternate world, you know. But if you come to Las Colinas, you will agree with me that there's something in the air here in this area, and there has been films shot in this area. Upstream Color was shot here, but there is something in the air. What Lynch talks about here. It's not just a regular spot. Okay, I'm gonna go right to that spot because I can find it from where the big building is. Okay, Lake Carolyn, I was right about. I must have just been going too quick. Okay, so here it is, right here. It's a little tiny area. Right, it's got to be right here for sure, 100%, because I just found it. Right there. That's it. That's the area. This is weird because I thought I came through Lake Carolyn, and I wonder if Lake Carolyn splits into 2 spots. Is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna probably title this "Finding a Location for That Side," because this is way after I tended to film it, and I am going to try to film it again. I'm hoping I will get more funding for it. I'm praying that I'll get some kind of funding for it, because I think it's something, you know, like a little Twilight Zone episode or something. Here we go, right here. This is where it's at. Right there. this is where I wanted to shoot it. Right here on this address, right here. There's a lot of light here. I'm sure fucking Hollywood will come up here and shoot some stupid scene with some stupid actor. Anyway, it's right over this way. Just to piss me off. So you would see some kind of shot like this of him coming through here. It's interesting, some of these places. There's something very interesting about this place.